Well, why don't we get started, Dave? Can you
Yep.
just give us a brief introduction of who you are and what the goals of the fund are?
Absolutely. So I'm Dave Palmer from Wellington, and I'm the portfolio manager for the Vanguard Wellington U.S. Value Active ETF. I have been part of Wellington now for more than half my life, and Vanguard has been part of that life because I have been either a team analyst and subsequently portfolio manager for Wellington's portion of the Vanguard Windsor Fund. The Vanguard Wellington U.S. Value Active ETF is an adaptation of the strategy that I already manage for the Vanguard Windsor Fund. The objective of the ETF is to outperform the Russell 1000 Value Index over a full business cycle by acquiring shares in companies that have seen a major dislocation in their fundamentals, and ultimately the stock price meaningfully underperforms, the valuation improves, and we put together a portfolio of companies like this. So we take a contrarian approach to looking at investments. Our team is conditioned to look for these opportunities in the market and to ultimately grab the performance that's being put out there by exiting shareholders, and to then live with it through the rehabilitation of fundamentals and ultimately see an improvement through time in the company's valuation. We have multiple folks both within central research but also on other fund teams. So analyzing companies for us is a collective effort because we're using not only our expertise on the team, but we're using Wellington's geographically dispersed resources to come to a very quick decision before the market can make their own decision on what's the appropriate price for an investment.
Let's talk about where you're seeing the most opportunity in the market then.
Investors have generally been rewarded over the past decade by being involved in growth-oriented themes and in certain areas of the market like AI and other thematic exposures that have really driven growth in the U.S. economy. However, the U.S. Value Active ETF has many different exposures in its portfolio, and therefore an investor might want to consider the diversification possibilities of adding this to their portfolio just in case those themes change in the future.